Hello, B1 family, and welcome back to the YouTube channel, The Big Black American Secret. My name is Daniel Jackson. Today, I want to give you some good news, an update, in fact. Ozone, Othal Wallace, has an attorney firm that's going to be representing them, and that is, to me, is awesome news. You know, matter of fact, that's the best news I've heard in quite a while. So I just wanted to let you all know about that. I heard about this information a few days ago, actually, and I was slow bringing it to you all because I want to completely vet any information I get, pertaining to Ozone. His name is Othal Wallace, but people who know him call him Ozone Wallace as well. But anyway, I completely wanted to vet the information because I don't, in the past there was a bunch of negativity. A lot of people wanted to help, and all of their hearts was in the right place, but in everybody wanting to help, it caused a lot of confusion, and so like I said, I wanted to kind of vet the information, and I have vetted it 100% accurate. And again, I'm so glad to bring that news to you. There's also a new legal defense fund that's set up through a nonprofit organization. And again, 100% vetted and trusted by me. The website will be in the description for the legal defense fund. And, do your own research, of course. Check out everything you need to check out, and then donate accordingly. His legal defense is because of the system of racism, white supremacy. This ain't gonna be an easy case, but the goal is that he get a fair trial. You understand what I'm saying? Because that is what everybody is promised in the United States of America. And because of the system of racism, white supremacy, we have not gotten that as black people, almost never. So it's going to be up to us to ensure that this system understands we ain't our grandparents. Hell, we ain't even our parents as far as things go. We're going to do everything in our power to ensure that Ozone gets what he definitely needs. And what he definitely needs is fairness, and that his case be heard in court and by the public as well, because we need to know what's going on. Before I get into, I wanted to give you the update on Ozone. And I also, too, want to talk to you about a few other things, really one other thing. But before I get into that, I want to, as always, read the goal of the channel. The goal of this channel is to build an unstoppable army of knowledgeable, black, melanated people in America and around the world that understand that we as melanated people have one enemy worldwide, and that enemy is the system of racism, white supremacy. Our mission through education is to replace this evil system with a system of freedom, justice, and equality as laid out by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. We will need your help in building this knowledgeable army. You can help by subscribing to this channel, by donating to this cause through Cash App and PayPal, and by sharing the videos you watch here and any knowledge that is shared. In doing so together, we help fertilize the mentally enslaved, colonized minds of black melanated people worldwide, creating the perfect mental conditions for our children to grow up in a better, more balanced world. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's video will be in the description, along with Ozone Wallace's new website to where you can donate. Okay. And on that note, again, I'm glad to bring that news to you. It's been a while that we've had an update on his case. And also, too, the name of this channel is called The Big Black American Secret. And that's exactly what it is pertaining to black Americans. Everything pertaining to us has been purposefully hidden. I mean, the system of racism, white supremacy in America, because it's a global system. It's not only here in America, but it's global. Now, it did originate here in America based on all the research that I've done. It started, the system of racism, white supremacy that we're currently under started in 1859. Now, before that, we were under the system of European domination. And the term white was used, but white simply meant that was the European American culture, because there were both black and white Europeans on our continent who were doing harmful and heinous things to the actual black Americans, the Aboriginal Americans, the native blacks here in America. Now, why is that important? It's important because we're all brainwashed to believe that all black people migrated out of West Africa because they found, and it's called the what is it called? It's called the and I'm having a, what they call a senior moment. It is the out of Africa theory, and the theory came about because they found the jawbone of a Homo sapien 2.8 million years ago in Ethiopia. So common logic would make you believe that all melanated or black people, came from Africa. Well, the thing that's flawed about that is, and we didn't know this, but they do not or did not allow digging down 2.8 million years in America, or pretty much no place else. What am I saying? What I'm saying is, based on current information and uncovering hidden facts, old documents, old books that were written, things that, again, were just hidden because of the system of racism, white supremacy. We are learning that all melanated life started on this planet about the same time on all the land masses. There was no mass migration out of Africa. That is what the current information is showing, the facts. Now, you have to separate your feelings and go with documented facts. Why is that? Because we are married. We are literally mentally married to the idea that black people all came out of Africa, because we're all melanated. We all black. We all look alike to some extent. We have different phenotypes, but we all look alike. But you have to separate your feelings in this topic and just listen to the new information. You be the judge. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm going to show you a few things in this video that have been hidden from you. Some of the things have been hidden from you in plain sight. You probably have seen them, but you didn't know about them, or this may be completely new to you. I don't know. But what I want to share with you today is what I call proof, a little bit of proof of, I'm sorry, this channel is called The Big Black American Secret. And the secret is you are an Aboriginal American. You are technically the only true American. And I'll give you proof of this right now. And again, we're in the information age. A lot of this information has been, again, kept from us, hidden. But again, because we're in an information age, it's hard for them to hide the facts, So I'm gonna read the definition of American in the year 1828. But before I do that, I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you say that this 1 cent copper penny matches the color of the back of my hand? I do this on pretty much all my videos because it's a visual example of something that you have not thought about. What am I saying? What you have not thought about is your actual skin color. We're all told that we're black people, when in fact we're not black-skinned people. We're all brown people. We are all different shades of brown, from very, very light-skinned, some of us damn near white, to blue-black, damn near mahogany, which are all varying shades of brown. So I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to read it. But, I Googled the 1828 definition of American. You can type that into your computer, and this is what will come up. It says American, a noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay? Now, I'm going to slow down and read that again because this definition tells you two things. One, it tells you that you are an Aboriginal American or copper-colored racist. That means a copper color, a brown color, you know. And then the second thing it tells you is that the Europeans have been stealing your very American identity, you know. Why is that important? Well, it's important because that's factual. That's not something I made up. That's in a document from the year 1828, a document that was a dictionary that has been hidden from you until now. And there are so many other things that have been hidden from you. I'm gonna bring your attention to something. Well, let me say this. It has come to my attention almost a year ago, that corn is an indigenous American plant. It is actually a very sacred plant. We didn't know this, you know, and in the Bible, corn was replaced with wheat. You know, I don't have any document I could pull up to prove that to you, but you know, it's actually, it's been documented, but that ain't what I want to talk to you about in this thing. I'm telling you that because we have not been allowed to look at America for its contributions to the world. Corn is an indigenous plant. Now that I can pull up for you, and I'll read it. Corn is an indigenous plant to America, and it's important because in order for a civilization to sit still in one place and grow, to be able to build communities, pyramids, temples, you have to have a stable food source. Otherwise, you would have to chase wild animals on their migration patterns. Corn was that one miracle plant. Was actually considered a gift from God. And why is that? Because that corn plant was a genetic anomaly, a genetic defect of a weed in South America that still grows there to this day. Oh, that weed is still indigenous, still grows in South America today. There are 3 videos or 4 in a series by Othal on corn. If you get a chance, please look it up and watch it. It's very eye-opening. But corn, being that it's indigenous to America, the Aboriginal American, the Black American, found that plant, looking at it as a gift from God because they couldn't have known much about genetic defects back then, but it's just this one plant out in the middle of nowhere that you could eat it raw out the ground. And it's sweet. You can cook it. You could grind it down. It had so many uses. It was sacred. So they took this corn and they cultivated it. Corn does not grow wild on its own. If that plant would not have been discovered at that time, it's a good chance it would have withered away, died, and nobody would have ever known what corn is. Corn, again, does not grow wild. It has to be cultivated by human hands. You know, so I'm going to pull up the definition or what I was telling you about corn, and I'm going to read something to you to prove to you that it is actually an indigenous plant. Okay, and here it is. And this is just I Googled corn, and this is what came up. Corn or maize. Corn, known traditionally as maize or maize, was domesticated by the Olmecs and the Mayan people in the region now known as Mexico some 10,000 years ago. And again, I'm pretty sure it's much older than that, but let's go with that. And it is said to be one of the most ancient of domestic crops. Corn was named by English settlers. Corn was the name that English settlers gave the crop, and it has become a vital source of food for them because it could be stored or eaten fresh. Corn is a summer crop, but early Mesoamerican cultures developed the process of nixtamalization to create meso, a flour used in tortillas, tamales, and other staple foods enjoyed around the world. Okay, so corn is indigenous to this continent. Very important. It's important because what also, from my research and belief, is that the pyramid building technology also came from America. There are pyramids here in America that are older, larger, and better built than any pyramid in Africa. And I know you're thinking, man, what is you saying? Dude, you must have bumped your head on something. You know what I'm saying? No, this information has just been hidden from you because your identity as an Aboriginal American makes you the only true American. Your identity has been and being stolen by Europeans. I just showed you the definition. That ain't a definition I made up. That is in Noah's Webster's Dictionary in the year 1828. Okay. But anyway, now, so what am I saying? What I'm saying is what they don't want us to focus on is the fact that we're all aboriginal to this planet. Life didn't start in Africa and spread out to any place. You understand what I'm saying? Life started on every continent in and about the same time. All of these land masses were separated by water. If you are not of the Pangea theory, Pangea theory is that there was one land mass and it's separated. Even if you go from just by that, if life started on that continent before the separation, then it's the same thing applies. You can have, let's just take mice that are on the northern part of a continent, and those mice would be different looking than the mice in the southern part because the dirt, the air, the oil is different. We come from the soil of the continent that's what created us. You see what I'm saying? There was not no one person, and humans grew from that one person. We were given that lie because that lie makes the Bible valid. If the Bible is valid, then the out of Africa theory is valid. If the out of Africa theory is valid, then the Neanderthal gene theory is valid. If that is valid, then the lie of white supremacy is valid. You see how that works? All of those things were created to validate the superiority, the false superiority of the white race. And the white race is not superior, never have been. White people are simply a genetic defect of black melanated people. We still give birth to albinos. What happened over the 10,000 year ice age period, and it only happened in a small portion of Europe, because not all Europe was under the ice age. Not all parts of Asia was under the snow and the cold. Only a small portion. This is where your albinos were allowed to grow, both the Asian breed of albinos and the Caucasian albinos. Over a 10-year period, 10,000 year period in cold weather, hair will lay down to keep the body warm. A nose that is normally flared, like you see the albinos walking around now with black features, the nose would become longer and narrower, so cold air wouldn't shoot straight up to your nasal passage. It would take longer, that time to heat up that air. You see what I'm saying? And that's just biology. You know, we're a function of our environments. You know, our bodies develop so that we can better survive in that environment. And during the ice age, when you block in the sun, the albinos who would normally be killed off from skin cancer and other things are now allowed to multiply and grow. Do you see how that works? And it's a little strange, but melanated people in cold weather, when you block the sun, it reduces the amount of energy and vitamin C we get from the sun. It actually works contrary to on us. You know, we could be taken out by small things like the simple cold or the flu. And people, this is why Bill Gates wants to block the sun. He says he wants to do that to help cool the earth. But no, Bill Gates knows something you don't know. Bill Gates knows what I just told you. And if you block the sun, you reduce the amount of skin cancer for white people. If you reduce the amount of skin cancer for white people, they live longer. White people are in negative birth rates right now, which means that more of them are dying than being born. You know, so my beautiful black people, if you did not know that by now, that a lot of the science that we're dealing with right now, you know, and things that they want us to volunteer for, could actually be a way for them to reduce the amount of children that the melanated people might have in the future, giving their people an opportunity to grow in numbers. You understand what I'm saying? So if you get a chance, read this book called Medical Apartheid. That book is real important because it'll tell you that they have been medically exterminating us for a long time. We just didn't know it because it was always under the disguise of things like the polio vaccine, the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, and a whole host of other things that we had no idea of because we simply think that the government is in place to protect us and keep us healthy. When all of the information and facts will tell you just the opposite. So we have to be, as melanated people, very cautious. I'm not telling any one person to do anything. I'm saying just get as much information as you can and you make the best decision for you and your family about everything. Now, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but maybe somebody needed to hear that. Okay, so corn, most people didn't know corn was indigenous to America. They told us that corn came from somewhere else, but you just read what I read. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna show you a few other things, maybe, but definitely one thing that they hid from you in plain sight. There is a Egyptian god called Anubis. It's the god of the dead, in fact, you know. Now, again, I believe that the Aboriginal American, because of the corn discovery, was allowed to sit still long enough to build civilization. And if you can build civilizations, you can build pyramids. And then once you're building pyramids, you got all these other technology in place, then you're gonna be able to branch out and grow. So what I'm showing you here, what I believe to be true, is that the pyramid building technology actually came from America as opposed to from Africa. And I'm pointing out a few things to you right now. Again, I'm going to turn this camera around and show you something. There are pyramids in America that are older, larger, and better built than any pyramid in Africa. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you one of those right now. And the title of this thing, and this is from the History Channel. I'm going to turn this around. And this is from the History Channel. Okay? And it says, this little known Peruvian civilization built pyramids as old as ancient Egypt. Did you hear that? As old as ancient Egypt. Pyramids in America, right? Corral was an architectural marvel, a 1,500-acre complex constructed by the oldest known civilization in Western Hemisphere. And that oldest known civilization is what I read you earlier, the Aboriginal American. Okay? It says, colossal pyramid structure in the Americas is as old as those in Egypt. The sacred city of Corral Supu in central coastal Peru boasts an impressive complex of ancient memorial architecture structures constructed around 2600 BC, roughly the same time as early Egyptian pyramids. Archaeologists consider Corral one of the largest and most complex urban centers built by the oldest known civilization in Western Hemisphere. Pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive. See, that is something you've probably never heard of. Why do we have pyramids in America, but no Egyptologists curious enough to dig around those pyramids, because they know what they will find. They will find melanated bones 2.8 million years old or older. People, we have been viciously, when I say viciously, I mean viciously lied to about a whole bunch of things, and mainly our identity, because they're stealing our identity, our land, labor, and resources. So that's why this channel is so important. If you have not already, please subscribe, hit the bell, and hit all to be notified when I make another video or go live. Very important, very important. And again, Dr. Francis Cress Welson's video will be in the description. And also, too, if you want to learn this information directly from me, and I mean streamline it, I do offer courses, $49 package of video only and $199 video package, same ones with the 49 plus coaching. And I call it hand-holding because this information, because we have been brain bombarded to believe a lot of lies about who we are, you're going to go through a period of, well, you're going to go through the 5 stages of grief. You're going to first deny this information. I don't know. I always forget the 5 stages of grief, but denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then you finally get to acceptance. And I think I got that right, but you could Google 5 stages of grief. And if that sounds weird, like what does that mean? Well, if you've ever had a loved one to die, your mother, your father, somebody close to you, you went through those 5 stages of grief, whether you know it or not. I know I did when my mother passed. But anyway, in my coaching class, it's kind of like I'm holding your hand through this process so that you don't feel alone, because you're not alone, but I went through it alone. And my experience could be a benefit to you. During the live coaching, we'll meet 4 times. One day each week, live video. And we'll go over the information you learned the prior week, and then you'll get a new assignment for the next week. After you go through this coaching program, I certify you to start to go out and to teach not only your children, but other people the same information, because it's just that important. Again, the goal of this channel, we're building a knowledgeable army of Black melanated people who know who we are. You understand? And all of us should do our own genealogical history. Those are paper documents, birth certificates, marriage license, union cards, military cards, paper documents, because DNA is scientific racism. We cannot depend on DNA, because they use DNA to convince you that you are someone else. And they've been doing it for a long time. On all DNA tests that you take through the mail, all of them say on there, they have a disclaimer, for entertainment purposes only, because they know it's all bullshit. So much so that even in a court of law, those DNA tests won't hold up. They don't even allow them in court. The only DNA test they allow in court is DNA from live humans to live humans, like rape kits and DNA tests to prove paternity. DNA from dry bones to live humans don't work. DNA does not last that long in dry bones. Google this. Anything I'm telling you, this is surface level research. You can Google pretty much everything I'm telling you. And that's why I show you, because that's what I do. I'll pull up surface level stuff, But the other stuff, we go down deeper, and that's why I teach. But anyway, so now you've got corn that's indigenous to America, Black people, Aboriginal people, indigenous to America. And they told us when they came here, what did they tell us? When they came here, the original people that was here was wiped out by disease from the Europeans. Mysteriously just wiped out by disease, because all of them will confess to the fact that there were Aboriginal Black people here. Some Black people believe oh yeah, those are Africans because they came over from Africa. And they only believe that because that's what they've been taught or trained to believe, the out of Africa theory, which they just didn't know. We're all just indigenous to the landmass we come from. Now, the Bible, and I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person, but the Bible also tells you that man came from the dirt. What am I saying? First book of the Bible is Genesis, creation. The Bible, the first book says that God formed man from the dirt of the earth or clay and blew his life into him. Now, the religion will have you think that that just happened one time and he formed Adam. And from Adam, all the other people came. But that's not the case. What that Bible was telling you was on every landmass, all the dirt, that's where life, human life was formed. First, you had plant life, and then you had mammal life. Mammals eat plants. We are mammals. People, this stuff is simple biology, man, if you think about it. But it's not simple because we have been in a psychological operation called the system of racism, white supremacy. That is why it's so important for every black person to understand this evil system. Watch Dr. Francis Cress Welson's video in the description. It's really important. Now, so corn, indigenous to America. Black Americans, indigenous to America. Pyramids, indigenous to America. Now I'm going to show you one other thing. There is a Egyptian god called I think it's Anubis, the god of the dead. And it's not an evil thing. It's just, that was his title. And, it's on the pyramid walls in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? But that dog, I found that dog. You know where I found that dog? Right here in America, in Mexico. You can't make this stuff up. Check this out. Well, I got a few images right here, right? And this is some artwork here, but this is Anubis. It's a image of Anubis. You see, he's a dog with the gold on there. And then a couple other images of him here, Right here is one that's, most people see. You got the dog head, the person. So, right? Now check this out. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This is native dogs of Mexico. This dog right here is called a, I'm going to see if I can pronounce the name right, but it's spelled Xoloitt. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that. It's a hairless breed of an indigenous dog here in America. This is Anubis. People, you can't make this stuff up. Why is a Mexican dog on pyramids in Egypt? Because America brought the pyramid building technology to the world. It started here, people. If I have any Egyptologists watching this feed, this broadcast, I know that you're going to have some cognitive dissonance about what I'm saying. It's going to sound like I'm a lunatic, and I get that. But if you are truly a scientist and a lover of research and the truth, you owe it to yourself and to your people. If you are a black Egyptologist, you owe it to your people to dig in this direction. Now, you probably know as well as I do know that the field of Egyptology was actually put in place to keep certain information from getting to the public. The early Egyptologists were gatekeepers, white people who didn't want people to know that the Egyptians was black. They wanted you to think they was white people. But anyway, the truth is all on the wall, so they knew they was melanated black people. And so the Egyptology evolved, and then, of course, accepted the fact that Egyptians were black. Why? Because it helps feed the racist narrative that all black people come out of Africa. People, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why am I telling you this, black man? Why am I telling you this, black woman of America? Because you are an ancient group of people. You are an ancient group of people and a special group of people. You are the only true Americans. The dirt under your feet, this air that you breathe belong to you. You are the true landlords of this landmass. From the tip of Canada, from the northernmost tip of Canada to the southernmost tip of Peru, or past the Peru, and all of the Caribbean islands. All of that is the Americas. All of it is the Americas. And they have constantly bombarded our brains with this hoax that we are the descendants of West African slaves. And they told us this mainly for two reasons. One, to steal our identity. And two, to ensure that we have that slave narrative in our minds so that we truly wouldn't know that the truth is we're prisoners of war on our own land. Prisoners of war on our own land. Why don't they want you to know you're a prisoner of war? Because if they told you, and they show you every day you're a prisoner of war, but you don't see it. You know, they kill us wholesale in the streets. They use their medicines, foods, as poisons to slowly kill us. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. But if they was to tell you you're a prisoner of war, you would go into warrior mode and you would fight. You understand what I'm saying? So again, if you have not already, join this channel, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell and hit all so that you're notified when I make a new video or go live, And it's my honor and duty to bring this information to you, just so that you start to think, so that you possibly start to think that, maybe this dude is onto something, so that you start to question the national narrative. You understand what I'm saying? Because these people mean you no good. They mean you no good. Matter of fact, they wish you death. They're going to find all kind of creative ways to get as much money from you as possible and then kill you. Work you like a Hebrew slave until you in your advanced years, just long enough to make as much money from you, till you die. Or you'll be killed by race soldiers in the street, called police officers. You understand what I'm saying? Or you'll be simply drove mad from this invisible system of racism, white supremacy. We got a lot of family members that are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and don't know why. This is why. You're fighting an invisible system, an evil system, and you must make up your mind whether you're going to join this black melanated army, this knowledgeable black melanated army, or you're just going to go along to get along. You're going to have to make that decision, okay? But your children are at risk. If you have children, if you plan to have children, it's for your betterment that you learn what you are up against every day. It's your personal duty to make sure that this world is better off for them than it was for you. On that note, I'm going to end this video. And again, it's my pleasure and honor to bring this information to you as often as I can. I want to bid you a farewell. All right, B1 family. Peace out.